Hey, we're back. Okay, week 2, Second Opinion Society. I'm kind of like crazed, I guess you could say. That's not a good word for that. By the simple amount of feedback, positive feedback that I've gotten from literally just recording myself speaking for 45 minutes. And it's crazy. Like, I am going to be a nerd for a second. Oh my God, I just had a brain fart. I'm going to be a nerd for a second, basically, and say I've gotten a million messages. Oh no, my dog's about to bark. Okay, I have both of my dogs in my lap for this podcast episode because they both wanted to be there, and I kind of have to let them have what they want in order for them to act right during this. And last time they did so good, and I just have the feeling that they're not going to do so good today. Oh my God, if you're watching on YouTube, you see them like snapping at each other. Now is not the time, girls. Okay, anyways, I have 2 dogs, by the way, Izzy and Zaza. They're so cute. They are also podcasters, you know? So, oh my God, they're fighting on my lap. They need to be sleeping. I fear I might have to restart this podcast. Whatever. I'm just going to carry on and see what happens. So basically, I got so many nice messages, and it's crazy because it's all simply because of the fact that, like, I put myself out there and started this podcast, and that's kind of gotta be the theme of the episode today is life advice, navigating your life, not caring what people think about you, all this stuff. And this has been like definitely a vulnerable place for me. Like, I put the podcast out on one of the busiest weeks I've had in a while in regards to like not being able to be on my phone because I went to Austin. We'll talk about that later. But I put it out and like I couldn't like respond to comments and everything right away, but I was like seeing them as they were coming in and I was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God, people are actually listening to this. This is 45 minutes of me putting myself out there. This is the most I've talked on the internet and most I've like shared opinions and shared thoughts on things. And it's a whole nother level of vulnerability that when people were like saying they were actually listening, I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God, people are listening to this. What if they like think I'm weird? What if this? What if that? Should I delete it? What if I said something bad? Should I listen to it again to make sure I didn't say anything like bad? And I was like, no, I listened to it. Everything in there is what I think. I have to just like take solace in that and understand that these people are choosing to listen to it. If they don't want to, they could turn it off. You know what I mean? There was also the fact of like, I had like moms messaging me that this, like I said good advice for like their teenage daughters or this or that or the other. And I started to get like a little nervous because it's like moms that I know that like tell me their daughters look up to me and tell me they want their daughters to listen to it. But I said the F word like I think twice in the episode. And I was just kind of nervous about cursing and like not being a good role model for these girls. But whatever. People curse. I don't curse that often. I do it when I'm passionate, and I was passionate. Okay, my dogs are fighting on the couch, and I swear, if you could hear it from this microphone, I'm going to cry. You could see it in the corner of my YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube, but whatever. I'm just having to ignore all the outside elements right now and focus on me and you, okay? So, so yeah, it was crazy, and I'm going to be a nerd for a second in the fact that I got a message, and it was every message that like had me on the verge of tears because I was like so scared about putting myself out there, and I've been wanting to do this for so long. But this message in particular, it was the owner of a huge fashion company. I did not even realize she followed me, but I have been following her since I was in high school. My first DM to her was 2018, and I know I didn't DM her right when I first followed her. So I had been following her for years before that, even before I owned a business. And even when owning my business, I looked up to her so freaking much. And she DM'd me that her and a couple of like people or whatever were listening to the podcast, and she was just like, it's very cool, so proud. And literally, I was driving back from Austin when I got the notification. And I think that was a moment for me of just like relief, I guess you could say, that like it was being taken well. And I just started crying because honestly, I've been putting so much work into, I don't want to start crying right now, but I've been just putting so much work into everything I've been doing and like really trying to do everything with like my full effort and my full passion for what I'm doing because I've been through so much in the last couple months and because I lost that friend a couple months ago. And not to get like sappy about it, but it really has changed my perspective on life and has really pushed me to put all my effort into these things and to just have all these people, and especially this person that I've looked up to for so long, see that and acknowledge that. It kind of was just like a moment for me of like, it's the first time I've like cried happily. Oh my God, I'm crying right now. It's the first time I've like cried happily in months because it's always been like sad cries. Oh God, take a deep breath. And so it was just like this moment of release and I guess not resolution, but just moment of peace that I felt like, oh my God, all my hard work is paying off and I could finally just feel comfortable in just working and putting my best foot forward in the passions I'm feeling because I've just having such anxiety. And that's another thing I want to talk about today is like I had anxiety like before my friend passed away, but it was always something I could handle. It was more like stress, I would say. And it was always situational and it was just something I could always deal with. It wasn't debilitating. And then after my friend passed away, it is like such a changing moment in my life that I think from now on I will refer to it as like before I lost my friend and after I lost my friend because it was so just like life changing. And I didn't think I was going to be so emotional today. Oh my gosh. But that I've had such bad anxiety and I've never felt it to where I couldn't handle it before. And it's gotten to the point where like I couldn't handle it and I'm trying to work through that and I'm trying to figure out how to cope with that. And I know a lot of people feel anxiety. That's why I'm talking about it. And it got to like a really bad head this week when I was dropping Andrew off at the airport because he was going skiing with like his friends. And I decided to go to Austin. Like I said, we'll get into that later. And I was just like so anxious because it was the first time that me and Andrew were going to be apart overnight since my friend passed away. And I was like just so anxious because he's been such a rock for me. And like I've really clung on to him in this time. And I was like shaking, crying, dropping him off. And I was like, I'm not sad that you're going. I'm so excited you're going on this trip. And I'm so excited for what I'm going to be doing while you're going on this trip. But I just like the thought of like either something happening to you. I think it's twofold. I think it's the thought of something happening to him or just anybody. Every time I say bye these days, like my mind goes to the worst. And that's just, I guess, part of grief. But the thought of something happening to him and just the thought of being apart from him was like just so debilitating. And I had to get over it. You know what I mean? And so I don't really have a resolve for anxiety yet because how do you ever? But I just wanted to share that that's something that I've been kind of going through, you know? Okay, my dogs are very mobile today and I'm getting nervous about the audio coming up on the podcast, especially with my pug breathing heavy. Okay, let's calm down, everyone. Okay, calm down. Please, please, please. Okay, anyways, so that is a little bit of what I've been going through. I'm using this podcast as a place to be more open and be more honest because that's what it is. It's me talking for however many minutes. And I just really want everyone to feel like they're not alone because a lot of the stuff I post is obviously the better parts of life. I post some things that I go through, but not a lot. And this is just a place where I want us to feel just more comfortable. And I don't know. I'm blabbering at this point. So let's get into why I went to Austin. So I went to Austin for two reasons. One was to visit my friend Kylie that lives there. She recently moved there after obviously we all went through a traumatic event and most of us just want to change our life 360. And a couple of months before my friend passed away, I was just thinking about where I want life to go and what I want to happen in my life. And I've always known I wanted to move, but I had a business that was keeping me here. And so I just kind of like wrote it off. I was like, nope, I'm not moving. I have a business I need to take care of. It's just not possible for me to move. And slowly but surely, we closed the storefront of the business. We closed the online of the business. And I finally was like, oh my gosh, this is my time to move. And I was like scared about it. I was thinking about it. It was more of like so a thought, not a plan. And then obviously when life got a little serious and I realized that life is way too short, I was like, okay, Andrew, we're moving. Like obviously he wanted to too, but that was my like moment of I need to move because this is something I've always wanted to do. And I was like held back for one reason or another. And hold up, I have a coffee. And anyways, I had this realization. So obviously I have a boyfriend. I've been dating for 3 years and we both kind of just sat down and we were like, where would be a good place for both of us? Like what would be a place that we were both excited to move that would be beneficial for our careers, our life outside of work, whatever. And obviously if it was my choice and if I had unlimited funds, I would move straight to New York City. I do not have money to live in New York City. B, I really hope you can't hear Zaza breathing right now. But B, I have a boyfriend that does not want to live in New York City. So we were thinking, and where did we land on? Austin, Texas. So Austin is a growing city, first of all, and it's a place where they have a great marketing industry. They have a great influencer scene. They have just like a great culture there and a great, basically everything I'm looking for in a city, you know? And it's a young city. Something that I want is a city where I'm surrounded by other people in their 20s hustling and grinding and really pushing me to be my very best and pushing me to work harder than I ever did before. And for Andrew, he's a teacher, so he could really teach anywheres. But teaching in Texas, they make more than in Louisiana. So that was a big thing. And Andrew is bilingual. He speaks Spanish. And so it was like, okay, what better place to go than Texas, where a lot of people speak Spanish and English. He could get an English teaching job. He could get a Spanish teaching job, And it's just like the best of both worlds. And Andrew really wanted to live somewhere where there was a lot of outdoor activities to do. And Austin, I mean, come on, it's beautiful. They have creeks, they have mountains, they have lakes, they have Lake Travis, which I'm really excited to like go on. And it was kind of like just the perfect place for everybody. This is the first time I talk about it. That's why I'm going so in depth, because I haven't said anything yet. And so this week I went visit my friend Kylie, because what else was going to do in a week off? She just moved there. I wanted to go visit. And B, tour apartments. And I'm a little early because I can't move until either June or July, but I wanted to just start getting a feel of what areas I wanted to live in, because Austin is huge. I've never lived in a city that huge with that many areas. And so I wanted to really like get a feel of like the neighborhoods I liked, what I was looking for in an apartment, because I've never lived in an apartment before. And so I kind of had no idea what I wanted. You know what I mean? So I went to our apartments. I toured 5 apartments. It was a lot. Me and Kylie were like exhausted just from touring apartments. We woke up, got ready, left, toured 5 apartments, and we had 10,000 steps. That's how many steps you get when apartment touring. So like if you want to have a fit job, be an apartment tour agent or whatever. I don't know. So we toured 5. It was a good mix of the 5. I found them all on TikTok. 2 of them, we just walked in and like did a tour that day because we were like really liking the area. It was Mueller area. And so I really liked it because there was like a pond, there was a walking trail, a lot of people were walking around. Because one thing about what I don't like a lot of things about where I live right now. One thing is that I have to walk on the street, and my street is a dead end. And so like to get off of my street, I have to walk on like a pretty busy road with no sidewalk, and I'm always scared I'm going to get hit by a car. And so one thing for me is like I really wanted a place where it's really walkable. Not necessarily like it didn't need to be in like the middle of a city, but like I need someplace to walk myself, walk my dogs, and keep training for running because I want to continue it after my race. And so it was a great little area. So I toured 2 apartments there, but I didn't like them because I think I kind of screwed myself over by touring 3 brand new apartment complexes that have literally been built in the last year. And so the 2 that I toured by Mueller were like not new, and they were older, and I was just like, this doesn't feel as nice, you know? So I'm like all up in the air still, but I really liked this one. It was in North Austin, and when I tell you it checked all my boxes. There was a walking trail. It was a really good area. It was no carpets because I can't stand carpets. The layouts of the apartments were really nice because they made the closets bigger, and you know me, I have a big closet, or I need a big closet, let's say. And it was no carpet. I cannot stand carpet, especially with my dogs, because their fur gets in the carpet and I feel like it makes me sick. And I stain carpets a lot of the time because I wasn't raised with carpet. If you weren't raised with carpet, I feel like you don't know how to handle and live in carpet. Does that make sense? Anyways, I'm blabbing now, but yeah. So I'm moving to Austin this summer. I'm really excited. I have a lot to do because I don't have a job. I only have one friend there. So I'm like preparing now, especially that like I have it out there. I'm going to start applying to jobs. I have this marketing agency there that I have dreamed of working for the last year, but they don't hire very often. So we'll kind of just see. I'll keep y'all updated though, because this is going to be a really big part of my life, and it's going to be a big change, and I'm really anxious and I'm really excited, and it's like all these emotions mixed into one. And so we're kind of going to do it together, because hopefully me moving and like sharing all the bads and the goods and everything that come with it can help somebody make that decision to move, you know? So With all that being said, we are 17 minutes in. That is crazy. I just blabbed for 17 minutes. I cried, I laughed, whatever. So, shall we get into our stories? This is the first time I have real write ins from real people that follow me and are going to listen. That kind of makes it a little more nerve wracking, though, because they're actually going to be listening to the advice that I'm saying. I'm not just speaking to a void, you know? So, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, I was so excited last time. I forgot to put my glasses on, but I don't know if I could really wear them with the headphones. So we're going to try it out because if I read without my glasses, I kind of just get a headache because I'm straining so hard. So there's that. So let's get into our stories. I'm nervous. Okay. So on my Google form that you could like write stories into, I basically have the age because I feel like that helps with a lot of context, and then you tell your story. It's very simple. You don't put your name. So I have no idea who any of these people are. I just know their age and what they wrote in. So for a little bit of context, if you want to write in, I have no idea who you are. Nobody will know who you are unless you like give a detail that would spark someone off, if that makes sense. You could change names, you could change details, whatever, just as long as we get the general premise of the story, that is great. So our first little story is basically somebody that is living my life. You know what I mean? So you'll see. So I just graduated from LSU with a marketing degree in May 2024, and I'm trying to decide between moving to a new city or applying to grad school at LSU to get my MBA. Told y'all, this is me. The thing is, I want to move away from Baton Rouge and experience a new city, but the other half of me wants to stay in Baton Rouge to obtain my MBA degree that my freshman self always dreamed about. On the other hand, I've been having the worst luck with the job search this past year, and I feel hopeless at this point. All of the companies instantly reject me when I submit my application, and the thing is, it's for an entry-level position. I'm sick and tired of seeing that same daunting email. Unfortunately, we're looking for someone with more experience. What do you mean? That's why I'm applying to get more experience. I understand every rejection is one step closer to success, but it's about to be 1 year since I graduated, and I still haven't gotten any offers. I feel like if I want companies to even give me a look, getting my MBA might be my ticket out of this hole. What do you think since you're getting your MBA at LSU right now? So, you guys, I swear I did not write this in because this was me literally a year ago. So, unlike you, I did not have like the aspiration to obtain my MBA when I was a freshman. I had no idea I would do that. I talked a little bit about that on last week's episode. And I just it fell into my lap. I had a friend that was in the MBA. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life after we closed the store. And so I kind of wanted a path, let's say a path. So when I closed the store, I basically was like, decided I was going to apply to MBA school and decided I was going to apply to full-time jobs. And I did both. I applied in Baton Rouge. I applied in New Orleans. I was going to stay here because at that point in time, I still had the online store and I just needed to stay here. I couldn't move yet. So that wasn't an option. My boyfriend had gotten a job. So we were like, okay, we're definitely going to be here for X amount of time. So I applied to jobs and I applied to get my MBA. I told myself whichever one was going to hit first is what I was going to do. And guess what would hit first? MBA, because like you said, no one hires in Baton Rouge. It's so frustrating because after research, aka talking to people and just making stuff up on my own, I've come to realize that larger cities are more prone to hire for entry-level positions than smaller cities. So Baton Rouge, it's a small city. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody from what I've gathered. And it is not easy to get an entry-level position because I was like applying with a good bit of experience and I still didn't get even an email back. When I applied to like 20 jobs. I got maybe 2 rejection emails and nothing from the other ones. I actually got an email from like a scam company that somehow got my resume off of LinkedIn and I was invited to like a Zoom with like 50 people. And I was like, for like a Cox store manager position. And I was like, wait, what is this? So I was going to do whatever one hit first. And guess what? The MBA hit first. So I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. This is the path that I'm following. You kind of just have to follow what path life gives you. So if you're not getting a job, guess what? You should go get your MBA because a lot of people have a college degree these days. And when you're applying to a job, there could be 100 applicants. Maybe 75 don't have an MBA or higher education and 25 do. They're probably going to go with the 25 unless they're like cheap and don't want to pay more because let's be honest, those little 3 letters behind your name get you a higher paycheck as well. So you're kind of in the exact same position I was in, because when I was trying to get a full-time job, nothing worked. And so I would suggest doing your MBA. I don't know if you have to do, oh, you get a marketing degree. So you could do the 1-year MBA. And that's what's glorious about it, is if you have a business background, like a business minor, a business major, you can get an MBA in 11 months. Do you hear me? I got an MBA in 11 months. Well, I don't have it yet. It's coming soon. But not even, because basically I did in-person classes from August to May, and I stacked my classes as much as I could. And then I have one online class during the summer that hopefully I will be having a big girl job then, that I could work while I'm doing this one online class. And then I graduate in August. How insane. I don't know how much my summer semester is going to be, but I got a graduate assistant position that helps pay for, I think, like 40 to 60% of your tuition. And then they also give you a monthly stipend to live on. So that's like my income, I guess you could say, right now. And it helps a lot. So if you do your MBA, I would get a GA position. But I don't think you really have anything to lose. You know what I mean? It's another year in school. It's another year maybe for you to get internships and get experience and do all these things. And I really went into MBA school with the idea of giving myself the time and being able to put energy into really just studying, not skimming myself out of like homeworks by cheating on them. I really just like wanted to learn, and I wanted to network, and I wanted to meet all my classmates, and I wanted to talk to my professors and do all kind of things. And granted, I don't have time to do internships on the side because I have a million other jobs, but it really is my year of like focusing on myself, building my resume, building my just brand in general, and working on myself. So I don't think it would be a bad idea. And this could be applied to really anything. My biggest thing is that I applied to jobs. I applied to the MBA, and whichever one hit first, that is my sign to take it. And I think a lot of people can use that advice of not everything is going to work out exactly how you want it and exactly how you plan it. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow. You just have to learn, okay, I'm going to try my best at these two things, but whatever one works out better and whatever one hits first is what I'm going to do, because that is the place that life is leading me. And God, if you're a religious person, is leading you. You have to also believe in that. You know what I mean? And so it could be applied to many different situations in life that you feel lost and you don't know what you're doing. Hey, you just have to follow it. And you know what I mean? Like, I'll get into this later, but I had to give up on a lot of that stress and that worry when accepting that I'm moving to a new city without a job, because, hey, if I don't get a job, I was so stressed. I was like, oh my God, I can't move if I don't have a job offer. I can't move if I don't have a job. Guess what? If you don't have a job and you could get an apartment with your past tax returns, that was really the only thing that I had to like figure out, is that whatever apartment I live in can take like past tax returns and not like a current salary or job offer. I don't get a job for the first couple months I live there. So what? I'll go work at a Starbucks and be a barista, a boutique and be a salesperson. I'll do something and maybe I'll enjoy it, you know? I probably will enjoy it, and I probably won't make as much money as I would if I was salaried, but I'll use that time to just slow down and enjoy life, because I'm young and I'm in my 20s and I don't need to have it figured out right now. You know, your 20s are for making mistakes, and that is what I've really come to learn in the last couple months since my friend passed away, is you are so young and you have so much time and you don't need to have it figured out. I've been trying to have it figured out. Guess what? You don't. You could be a hot mess. You can go broke as long as you do it responsibly. You know what I mean? Not to like encourage you to do that, but you can make financial mistakes. You can make life mistakes. You could do all these things because you're young and you're in your 20s. And guess what? You have time to fix it afterwards, you know? So that's that on that. I hope that was helpful. I don't think you would regret going get your MBA, to be frank. I think it would be very good, and I love it personally. It's a great program. I've met so many great people, and it's fun too. They have like a group within the MBA that's kind of like a sorority frat thing that you pay a dues for, and you go to all these social events. So it's very fun. I do not think you would regret it. I would do it in person though, because I think the online is a little more expensive and a little harder because you're not getting that like one-on-one with the professors. So just keep that in mind. Oh my God, first story for this app. Yay. Okay. Next. Ooh, I'm just like so excited. This is so fun. The only problem is I'm already like almost 30 minutes into this, and that was the first story. These episodes are about to be so long. I'm about to have to upgrade my podcast membership because the platform I use charges you based off of like how many hours you post. Does that make sense? Whatever. Okay. Next story. So proud of you for starting this podcast. Struggling with small town dynamic. Can't really get out of the small town because my parents are here and they're older and family is really important to me. But being around the same toxic private school weird girl dynamics is draining. It's hard to go out when constantly running into all the viciously insecure girls I went to school with. That word tripped me up a little bit. Instead of just being like, hi, gal, good to see you. How are you? Or even just smiling, waving, and moving on, it's always the fakest. Oh my gosh, hey. And then super weird interactions. I think obviously the answer is to just ignore and pretend like these people don't exist. But in general, how are we handling these types of women, especially if we perceive being in the vicinity as them for a while? So, something that I can relate on. I'm from a small town. I wanted to get out of said small town, even if it meant being like an hour and a half from my family. And I go back and visit my family often, but I don't go back and visit the people I went to high school with just because, like, not that there's bad blood, there's just a lot of times in high school where I was misunderstood and different things like that. And I don't want to get into like my high school experience because that's just a whole other thing. I can overall speak positively about it. It's just that town holds a lot of trauma for me in different ways. And so the town where I'm from, I mean. And so I very much wanted to get out, and I knew I needed to get out for just my sanity and my mental health. And I wanted to move on to a different phase of my life. And that's kind of how I'm feeling in Baton Rouge right now. And that is a big reason why I'm moving to Austin, is because Baton Rouge has become way too small of a town to where I see people I know every time I go out. And that's not a bad thing. I love seeing people that I know, and I love that I've been able to meet so many people in this phase of my life. But it's almost like you outgrow places and it keeps you in this box. It keeps you in this box that you can't outgrow. And a big part of what's hard for me in moving to Austin is being away from my family and being away from my little brother that's going to be a junior and senior in high school soon, and my little sister who's going to be graduating college soon. It's a really hard thing to be away from like my nieces and nephews. I have a niece and a nephew right now, and my siblings who are growing up, and I have a 5-year-old sister who is in preschool, so it's really hard to accept that like I'll be away from my family. And I have a lot of siblings. If you can't tell, I have 5, if you were on your fingers counting while I was saying all that. And I have 5 siblings and a niece and a nephew. So a lot. And I love my parents and I love my family. So it's hard to think about moving away from them. And it almost feels selfish in a way because they're all really sad that I'm moving. But you have to think they lived their life once too. And I'm really referring to parents right now because siblings, they're mobile. They come visit you. They're going to be moving possibly too. But you have to think of it a way of like they lived their life too. At one point, they had their 20s, they had their 30s, and I hope to God that they lived it how they wanted to, because I want to live my 20s and 30s how I want to. And it's a little selfish of me to move away, but I've told them this, like, it's what I want in my life, and they've already been able to live their life. They're still living their life, obviously, and like this is the first time in their 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. But I want to be able to live my life too, and I don't want to be made to feel bad about that. So I would first think about that in the way of, if you can never see yourself happy in this small town dynamic, maybe it's time to come to the hard realization of maybe you need to move away from your parents, and maybe you need to have that hard conversation with them, and maybe they might want to move too. Y'all just never had that conversation about it. You know what I mean? Because my mom, she is probably going to move somewhere once my little brother graduates high school, because what's keeping her in that small town? Nothing. And like, she wants to get out and she wants to explore these new things and meet new people and stuff, because it's our parents' first time living life too. Let's remember that. And so I think that would be a good first step, to just look into that if that's possible. And I understand age and things can't change, and some people are hard-headed, but I would definitely look that as a possibility, because for the longest time I was scared to move. I was scared to get out of my comfort zone and leave my friends and all the places I knew and my family behind. But it's not leaving them behind. It's just realizing that you're taking this next step for yourself, and they have to understand that, because everyone's living their own life and everyone's on their own path and everyone has their own goals. Okay. So that's my first little spiel. I say that word a lot, don't I? Now, next, let's say you can't do that. You can't move. You're in that town. I would start by trying to experience new things. So you're stuck in the same town. You experience new things. Try to get out. Try to do more day trips to hiking, 2 hours away, or to a city nearby that has like really cute places for dinner. Try to do that. Try to join a book club, join a prayer group if you're religious, join different things that you wouldn't normally do, because you never know where people are hiding in the shadows. You never know where a friend could be. You know, I've met friends in the weirdest of places that were like, isn't it weird that we met in that place that neither of us should have been in, but like we were there and it was coincidence and now we're friends? Like, and I know you weren't asking on specifically how to make new friends, but I feel like that helps a lot in not caring about what those other people think and what those other people say and running into those other people. So I think that's really important, to put yourself out there and try to find people in new places. And guess what? A lot of the times when we're getting older in our 20s, we might make a friend and they're 32 and you're like, is it weird that I'm friends with like an older person or even a younger person? No, because it's all about human connection. It's all about just finding people that really connect with you and really fit with your life and your phase of your life you're in. I keep talking about the phases, but it's so important, you know? And so that would be my first little spiel on that, is try to find happiness in new places, to where you're so occupied with this life you're building for yourself and these people you're surrounding yourself with that you don't even care about running into little Sally Mae in the grocery store and her being fake. You know what I mean? So in regards to dealing with the fake people, this might not be the best advice. I'm fake back, because guess what? I'm going to move on with my day and I'm not going to be worried about it. If someone gives me the fake energy, I'm just going to give it back and I'm not going to worry about it the second we say goodbye. You know what I mean? I don't need to fix it with that person. I don't need to have a conversation and become kumbaya, whatever, because guess what? I don't care about them because they don't care about me. You know? And so when you get to that point of just like unbotheredness, to where you're like, hey, this person could tell me hey in the grocery store, I don't even care. I'll say hey back. I'll just keep walking and I'll move on with my day. I think that is the richest place you could be in, is not caring. You know what I mean? And it's taken me a while, and some people still get under my skin, and I have to take a step back and remember, hey, it doesn't matter. Why am I letting them ruin my day? Why am I letting them get under my skin? You know? So I think that's my spiel on that, because I could keep going and I could talk about this forever, because it's really a place where I'm in my life where I don't care. I don't care about people. Like I said, have a couple of those people that get under my skin, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, let them get under my skin. Let them think this about me. Let them do that. I don't care. I'm my own person and I'm going to live the way that I want to live, you know? Moving on. Oh, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. What time am I at? Jeez Louise. Time is going so fast. Maybe I'm a little too good at this podcast thing. I could talk for a little too long. Side note, what is a length that you like to listen to a podcast? Do you like it shorter? Do you like it longer? Do you never get enough? I don't know. Because I also don't know. I need to figure out how to log into like my Apple and Spotify accounts. I don't know how to do that, which is like, maybe you should. Because I haven't really seen like the statistics of like who's followed the show, if anybody's left reviews. I think there's comments on Spotify. So I'm trying to do that. So sound off in the comments and I'll see it when I get there. You know? So anyways, this next one, I promise, wasn't written in by me either. You guys, I guess y'all just like know me. And so you are writing in things that like, you know, I've dealt with. So, okay, let's get into it. I really need some advice. I've always wanted to be an influencer, but I feel stuck because I live in a small town where everybody knows each other. The idea of filming content in public makes me so anxious. Like, I just know people will stare, whisper, and probably make fun of me. I just don't want to be that girl everyone gossips about. At the same time, I can't stop thinking about how much I want this. I see influencers in big cities romanticizing their lives so effortlessly, but I have no idea how to do that when my day feels so repetitive, like the same coffee shop, same grocery store, same streets. How do I make my life look more interesting when it feels so ordinary? And how do I get over the fear of people judging me? Well, what I'll say first is, what are you doing right now? You might be like cleaning or like driving or anything, but guess what? You're listening to my podcast. And you wouldn't be listening to my podcast if I didn't say F it all those years ago and started posting. You know what I mean? Do you think nobody's talked bad about me? Do you think nobody's made fun of me? Do you think nobody's said anything bad to my face? They have. All those are true, because I have posted content I started posting during COVID, like like business wise during COVID, but I won best Instagram my senior year of high school because I was posting. You know what I mean? And guess what? People made fun of me. I remember the first time someone made fun of me for posting on social media. It was, I think I was like 10, 11, 12 years old about, and my older brother's friends. I think it was like more of like his girlfriends, and this was so long ago, but it stuck with me. They were like, why is like your little sister posting this stuff on Instagram? Why is she posting this? Like, why is she posting that? And I remember like he told me like, hey, like watch what you post. Like people think you're weird. Obviously it affected me then. I was a little girl. But like I kind of like thought about it and I was like, I looked back on my Instagram at the time and like obviously I was like 12. So it was like weird filtered selfies and different things because I was always a social media girly. And I was like looking back on my Instagram and I was like, none of this is weird. I feel confident in everything that I posted. So I don't know what their problem is. I don't know what stick is up their ass because guess what? I like everything I post. I stand by everything I post. They could F off. You know what I mean? So that was like the first experience I had with people judging me for what I put online. And it only got worse from there. You know what I mean? Because I'm from a small town too. And people talk, even about life. You know what I mean? You could be doing absolutely nothing and people will still talk about you. So you might as well be doing what you want and have people talk about you, you know? So that is my spiel because you would not be listening to my podcast right now if I didn't start posting and if I didn't care what people thought. And there's sometimes where I will overthink posting something or say, oh, people are going to think this about me. People are going to think that about me. What if they say this, say that? And the thing is, I'm not even like a big influencer. I, in this grand scheme of the world, am like a nano micro influencer, and I've had such cool experiences from this quote unquote small following that I could not give a shit about what Tommy Sue and Sally Mae in this little small town have said about me because what are they doing? You know, they might be living their best life, but guess what? They're worried about what I'm doing. And you know what I mean? Why are they worried about me? Maybe they don't have anything else interesting going on. Let them worry about me. Let them be concerned about what I'm posting. Let them talk about me, judge me, whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing what I want to do. I'm living the life I want to live, and they can actually F off, you know? So that is not my very aggressive take on it, but more, what do you say, like realistically, just start posting what you're comfortable with people seeing. And that might not be a lot, but I promise you, as you post more and more and get more and more comfortable, you're going to see all these people come and connect with you and say, oh my God, I love that outfit. Or, oh my God, thank you for posting about this. I'm actually going through this right now too. And that is going to fuel you to keep going and to not care about what little Tommy Sue and Sally Mae think. You know what I mean? It is the people and the community that you build that really just help you distance yourself from those small-minded people and enable you to do what you really want. Okay? So let me just make sure I covered all your topics. Oh, the idea of filming content in public. I do a lot of content in my house. My house isn't ideal, but I ordered lights off of Amazon. I set up my little tripod and I film it in my house because that is where I feel most comfortable. Because I have filmed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. I still get embarrassed talking to my phone in public. Okay? It's a thing that I think never goes away. And I think that is just something that like you have to be comfortable with accepting is like, I am not the type of person to film in public. And it might be a detriment to me because I don't film myself talking in the grocery store. And if I do, I'm whispering and you could hardly hear it and all this stuff. And that is something I want to get better at. And I think it'll be better when I move to a bigger town, but you're in a small town where obviously people know you and you know people. And so I would just suggest finding places that are like off the beaten path. So I don't know what kind of content you want to film or anything, but maybe you want to film at the gym. Figure out a time at the gym that is most empty, or if there's a little side room or this or that you could feel comfortable filming. Does that make sense? I know that's like duh, but also go to a bigger town where people won't know you and just start filming. And guess what? If somebody does know you, make a joke about it. I make jokes about it all the time. Like I'll run into people. For example, this was really funny. The other day when I went to the Giggly Squad show for Valentine's Day, I wore that like black blazer, pink lace skirt, and I like felt so cute. I was in the Superior bathroom in New Orleans, taking a little video of myself in the mirror when a girl walked out of the stall, and I was like so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, sorry, I'm just taking a little video. And she was like, oh my God, no way, I follow you on Instagram. Like, I saw you post this outfit, get ready with me, on Instagram. I thought it was so cute. Like, and like, she like even brought up like, I'm so glad you didn't even go with the stockings, like blah, 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 blah. And we had this little great moment. And I was so nervous when she opened the bathroom stall that she was going to judge me for taking this video. And guess what? She follows me. She saw my video. She saw me post that stuff. And that was like a great aha moment of, oh my God, why am I worried about what people think? Because all these people support me and all these people want to see what I'm posting, which is crazy to me that people even care. Ooh, sorry, I hit the microphone. Which is crazy to me that people even care and that people even, example for this podcast, want to listen to me talk for 45 minutes. It's insane. But they do, because I've built this community, and I've built this community on sharing my life and not caring what people think and just saying, hey, I'm going to post what I want to post. And if you're interested, follow. If you're not, don't, you know? Oh my God, this is a side note. No, this is like actually a main note because I wanted to talk about this with this story. All of the people, this is like from like the marketing business side of my brain. People want to see two different types of content on social media. They want to see the aesthetic, aspirational, beautiful, unobtainable side. Okay. That is what a lot of people make money off of, is being unobtainable and aspirational. But at the same time, they also want to see real life, somebody going work a 12-hour shift at a hospital, somebody owning a business. They want to see the behind the scenes, because guess what? If they see your struggles and they see you being relatable while also sharing your life on social media, they want to be there to cheer you on. They want to watch you, because guess what? They're feeling stuck in their 9 to 5 too. They're feeling like every day is the same. They're feeling like they go to the same coffee shops and drive the same streets in their small town. They feel that. So if you're posting about that, that is actually the most relatable place you could be, is posting about that and sharing about that, and sharing how maybe once a week you try to do something new and you start a series saying, I feel like I'm living the same day every day and I'm getting very bored with life. Come with me to try one new thing a week. People would eat that up, because that's not the aspirational side. I have tried to be the aspirational side. Let's be honest, I'm not. I am trying to be on the more relatable side, but it's kind of hard to do when like you're in that situation, whatever. But you posting that you're stuck in your same daily routine and you're trying to do things to break out of that, I could promise you 1,000,000 people relate to that. 1,000,000 people relate to being stuck in their small town, doing the same thing every day, going to their 9 to 5 every day and doing that. Guess what? Days in the lives, I don't care if everyone looks the same. Every single video you post will reach different people, because you might say one thing different that'll resonate with this person and not this person. I want to see day in the lives. I don't know who you are, but I want to see day in the lives. I want to see try one new thing a week with me. I want to see I'm stuck in this routine, but I like my routine. I want to see the stuff that people can relate to, that people can see and be like, oh my God, this is me too. I feel that way. You know, I want to see all of that. So how do I get over the fear of people judging me? I've said it once, I'll say it again. You would not be listening to this podcast right now if I worried about people judging me. And so I think, obviously, when I started posting on social media, I was in this place of scared to post. What if people think I'm weird? Especially when I started switching from just pictures to videos. I thought about that every single day. What if people judge me? What if people think I'm weird? And guess what? They did. They did judge me. They did think I'm weird. And I got over it really quick, because guess what? I started making money off of posting videos on social media. How weird is that? I actually made enough money to take a trip to Europe, to do all these random things, to be able to afford to live, honestly, because I've never had a stable paycheck, and social media money is very unsteady, but it helps me get by sometimes. You know, when I owned a small business and I couldn't pay myself because everyone else gets paid before the owner does, social media put food on my table, because I post silly little videos and pictures on social media. Weird, right? No, it's not weird. It is very respectable and it's a very fun thing to do. And guess what? Looking back over the last 5 years of me taking social media seriously, I could have not made a penny and I would still love what I'm doing for many reasons, but a lot for the fact of I am sharing my life and helping people in knowing they're not alone. They're not alone in this. They're not alone in feeling like stressed out in the dressing room. They're not alone in anything, because nobody's had original thought, honestly, because there's millions and millions and millions of people in this world, and everyone could relate to something going on in your life. You know what I mean? But also for the fact that I am documenting some of the best years of my life that I will be able to go back and look on, show my kids, show my grandkids. If anything, God forbid, ever happened to me, I have all those special memories that my loved ones could look back on. This is the way I think, obviously. If you can't tell, I'm grieving. But it's just like such a special thing that you're just like capturing your life. You know what I mean? And you're sharing it online to strangers. Oh, and your other question was, how do I make my life look interesting when it feels so ordinary? I mean, I just touched on that. You literally just find what is ordinary, because people love watching ordinary. It doesn't need to be a crazy life that you live. People love the relatableness and the repetitiveness that you post. You know what I mean? Or you will post, because, hey, I will support you. And it might feel very lonely at first when you first start posting, because you might not have those people commenting and liking and whatever. But keep going. Push past that initial moment of loneliness and fear and scaredness, and really think about the day that you'll be getting comments on your post. You'll be getting DMs for people relating to what you're doing, because that makes it truly all worth it. Okay, so I technically had 3 more stories to do because I was a little optimistic, but I was a chatter this episode. And so I think I'm going to save them because I'm worried I'll get to the point where nobody's writing in. So I kind of need to save the stories in case that happens. But don't forget, you can write in. This could be you, that I'm reading your story on this podcast and giving you my advice. Like I said, I'm not licensed or have any special qualifications that let me give advice, but a lot of people last week said I was pretty good at it, and that they sent it to their cousin or daughter or whatever that could use the advice. So I'm just living life, and I am telling the advice off of my own experiences. So hopefully that helps and that resonates with somebody, because that's why I'm doing this. Even though it is very vulnerable, like talking for all this time, like, oh my God, you know? But that's my second episode. Hopefully it was as good as the first, because everyone was like hyping me up on the first. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, what a vibe. 2 episodes in. Pretty crazy. But also I really just want to take a moment to be sappy. And I know I'm sappy a lot, but I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you're listening right now, you just probably listen to like 40 to 50 minutes of me just like talking for an hour. And I could not be more grateful, because the reason I'm able to do this and the reason I'm able to keep posting on social media and share my life is because people support me, and it's because people like, share, comment, click my links even. I get so much like good statistics from people just clicking a link on my story. They don't have to buy it. Just the clicks of my links like help so much, and people do it, and people want to support me. I had a girl the other day, like she asked what camera I used, and I sent her the camera, and she was like, can I put a code in or anywhere for you to get commission? And that is truly like the nicest thing, because it is crazy just how supportive people are that like don't even know me, and they want to support me, and they want to see what's best for me. And it truly is like just so touching, especially like I'm in, oh my God, I don't want to cry. I'm in just like such a weird space in my life right now, because obviously I'm going through this big traumatic thing, and there's been other things behind the scenes that I'm going through. And to just have such a good community and such good people surrounding me that want to see the best for me, it truly is something that I hope to God I never take for granted. Oh my God. I'm so dramatic if you can't tell. I didn't think I'd be like crying twice in one episode, but whatever. I really am grateful, and I will truly never take for granted the people that watch and listen. And even if you're a silent follower, I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and just allowing me to do this, because this truly is my dream. Stop. Why am I crying? This truly is my dream come true. I've always wanted to have a podcast. Like I said, I started posting on Instagram from a very young age, and this is just something that I feel like I was like, not to be dramatic, meant to do and meant to share, Because like I really do love every part of social media. It's so dramatic, but I'm so grateful that all of you guys allow me to do this. And I'm honestly just speechless because I felt so much love in the last week that it's crazy. It is truly crazy. And to all those people that want to start a career in social media or even just posting and sharing your life on social media, remember that there is quiet times, even still. There's quiet times where I feel like nobody's watching, nobody's listening, nobody cares. And then moments like this truly remind me of the fact that people do care and the fact that people do listen and watch. They just don't comment all the time because everyone has their own lives. They don't need to comment all the time. But it's times like this that really push me to keep going and to keep pushing and to keep working. So I'm not good at ending the episode because I feel just so comfortable sitting right here talking to you guys. Like, I hope you could tell that and I hope you could feel that because it really is just like such a good place that I'm in right now. Like sitting in this chair talking to this microphone, even though I cried twice. But it's a bittersweet cry, you know? Oh well, okay. I need to stop this. I literally just reached 60 minutes on my recorder. It won't be 60 minutes for you because I'm editing pauses out because whatever. Okay, well, thank you for listening to my second episode. I'm truly so grateful. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. And I can't wait. If you want to write in, don't forget it's always going to be my Instagram bio and TikTok bio, my link tree, truly, which is linked everywhere. You can write it in any time. I just ask your age and your story. I don't ask names. I don't need names or anything like that. It's all anonymous. I have no idea who you are. And yeah, it would really help me give something to talk about and it would help you because I get to give you advice. Okay, I'm going to go. Okay, I love you guys so much. Bye.